Hey guys, Dr. Pauly. So right now we're currently on the side cover, and I'm using the 2-2 drawing, which is the final product. 2-1 is basically the blank as it would come out of the mold, and then once it's machined and everything, it will look like 2-2, which is the one we're going to work on. All right, so the first thing we need to notice is, of course, we've got the front view, top view, and right side. The right side has been sectioned, and you can tell it's a section because here is the cutting plane. Now notice that their cutting plane is not straight, okay? The reason they went through at an angle and came down here is so they can expose this hole right here. So if you went straight over, you would see that hole, okay? You wouldn't want to get... Notice I don't dimension the hole from here, and that's because it's not exactly where it needs to be if you were going to just draw it out real quick. So what we're going to do here, because you would get this right here, this dimension straight vertical, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a revolve, and we're going to revolve this like it was a solid, okay? Notice, though, that it has a hole in the middle, all right? So we're going to have to use the center line on our origin to rotate it around. All right, so let's go ahead and get some basic measurements for ourselves here. 3.250. I tell you what, let's just go ahead and sketch it out, and then we'll come back for the dimensions. So here we go. Again, we're just drawing this L, and we're going to revolve it, and it'll make this blank right here. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, instead of doing a normal extrude like we're used to, I'm going to do a revolve. And since the revolution would be on the right plane, I'll select that. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a center line for myself, okay? It doesn't matter which edge it comes out of, I'm just going to use it. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is draw our L, okay? So I'm going to use a standard line, and I'm going to go ahead and draw my L out this way. Notice I've lined up with my origin. I'll snap to that here in just a second with a geometric constraint, and we'll be done with it. All right, so just to make sure, see, notice I can, well, okay, it automatically snapped. But sometimes it's good to go ahead and grab those 2 points and make sure they're aligned vertically. All right, so let's get some measurements first. The outside diameter is 3.250. All right, and that would be from the top here to the bottom of it here if it were fully revolved. Now we could do the radius from here to there. That's not a problem. But I'm gonna show you something called diametric dimensioning. And so again, it's 3.250 thousandths. So smart dimension. I'm going to start at the top line. I'm going to select the center line. Now, it only works for center lines, and that would be the radius, wouldn't it, when I dimension it? But if I go below that with my mouse, you'll notice it lets me do the diameter. And right down here is where this would be here on that bottom if I rotated this around or revolved it around. So now I can just type in 3.250, enter, and I'm done. Now that's diametric. So the next one here is going to be this circle, and that is the top here. And it's 1 inch diameter. So I will just simply take that, and notice once you start diametric, you'll see that little D right next to the smart dimension symbol. Once you start, it'll keep doing it. You can always hit escape to stop it. Okay, so I just need this to be 1. Tab over. Now I need this inside hole, and that inside hole is 625 thousandths. So again, pick the inside. Notice it's still diametric. 0.625, right? 625,000, yeah. So there's that. Now I have all my vertical dimensions. Now I need to get my horizontal dimensions. So I need to look, and right here it says it's 750 thousandths from the back edge to the front edge. $750 thousandths. And now I need this thickness, which is 125 thousandths. So I just go here, 0.125, enter, and now we're done, or almost done. I'm going to go ahead and put my fillet in now. I could put it in later in feature mode. Honestly, though, the best way to do it, if you're going to build a part with purpose, you want to be able to go back and edit specific things rather easily. So I'll tell you what, we'll put that fillet in feature mode. So I'm going to finish this. And because I have a center line, it automatically knows what it wants to revolve around. Okay? And so it's already got the revolve for me, so I'm going to say okay. And there we go. We're set for that. The next thing I want to work on, let's go ahead and knock out this hole pattern here. All right, now these are standard, just standard 1/4 inch holes, 250 thousandths, okay? But you'll notice that there are 6 of them, okay? The easiest one to start with would be the one on the horizontal axis here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do an extrude cut. I don't need to use Hole Wizard per se because it's an extremely simple hole. I could use it and just use the plain hole option on it, but I'm just going to show you how to do it with the cut tool. So I'm going to come straight out horizontally. Okay. Now the next thing I need to know is how far out that goes along that axis, and that's given by this pattern line right here. Okay. And that pattern line has a radius, a diameter of 2.750. So I'm going to pick a circle, and we'll come out here like this. And the first thing I'm going to do is make it for construction, and then I'm going to dimension it 2.750, enter, and there we go. Now that point right there is the center of where I'm going to put that hole right here. So 250 thousandths holes. So I'm just going to take a circle, snap to that point, dimension it 250 thousandths, and there we go. All right, I'm going to finish that, and I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And now, oops, my cut extrude didn't go all the way through. I didn't pay attention. It's not blind, it's just through all. There we go. All right, and remember, if you mess up, you can always go back and edit this particular feature, okay? As long as you don't have things dependent on it that will get messed up, everything should go pretty smoothly. Now that we're here in feature mode, I'm going to do circular pattern. Thing I have to do here is direction, so I'm just going to pick something that shares the center at which I want to revolve around. 360 degrees, 6 of them equal spacing. Right here where it says features, you could pick it here, but I'm just going to pick that cut extrude there off the menu. It's a lot easier. And I'm going to say okay, and now we've circle patterned that. So the only thing left on this, if you look, is going to be this fillet right here. All right, and that fillet has 125 thousandths radius. So while I'm in feature mode, I'll go ahead and say fillet. Go ahead and get used to typing in the dimension first, 125 thousandths. And then I'm going to pick this edge. I'm going to say okay, and we are finished, I believe. I don't think there's anything else on here. Nope, we're good. All right, so that is the finished side cover.